Hi everyone, Adarsh here. So this is a continuation series of Jdbc, where earlier we have seen how we can use MySQL database and how we can execute, how we can do the connection, how we can just create a statement and CRUD operation by using statement. Then we have seen how we can use prepared statement and how we can do CRUD operation by using prepared statement. What is a drawback? Then we move towards callable statement, where we have used stored procedure and stored functions, and then we have seen how we can use a metadata result set and all. But now this series we are mostly focused on how we can use a Oracle database in our how we can connect to a Oracle database by using Java application. So first thing what we need to know that how we can just before that we need to create a user on the Oracle database. So I'm having Oracle installed on my machine, so I'll give you a quick basics of that. First thing which we need to do, we need to go to the database homepage. I'm using Oracle Express Edition here. So this is a web console for the Oracle database, so directly you can go to that. So user sys and password is sys, that is a default password and user which you will get in this database. So once you get, then go into the administrator, and here you can see that database users. So you can say manage user and create user. So once you go to the create user, you can give the user. So I'm giving my name Adarsh, and I am confirming the password, unlock. Then I am giving all the privileges like create database link, create role, everything. So it will come to the super user category. I'll give the DB also, and I'll say create user. Once a user has created, so here you can see that user has created. Now what you can do, you can just log out and you can just log in into your created user, which I have created, Adarsh, and password Adarsh. So if it is created successfully, we are able to log in into that. So first thing which we need to know, we need to create a database table. So what we can do, go into the SQL, enter command. So I'm already having my SQL script ready. So what I can do, I can just copy paste this. In our application I'm having SQL script ready, so I'll just copy paste this and I'll just say run. So table has created, and what I can do, I can just select these and I can say run. So it will say invalid character, something is not correct. Let's execute one by one. Inserted row, and inserted row. So what I can see that uh, three rows we have inserted. So what we can do, select star from employee table. So let's see, we have what we have executed. So here we can see three records has been inserted. So if you are not familiar with the SQL statements and all, what you can do, you can go to the home, you can go here, create table, and you can say create table, and you can write the column name, table name here, column name, data type you can select, and all primary and everything. For primary key and all, it will say like I'll say employee empno is there. Then employee name, emp, email, what we can say, number, precision I want only 3, so should be not null. Data type I need varchar2 for email, name and email, that's it. Then I'll move to, so I'll just say employee 1. Instead of employee 1 you should create employee 1. Okay, then I'll say primary key. So what I need the primary key is, okay, then it will say populate new sequence, existing sequence. Populate from the new sequence. What is a primary key? Employee number should be primary key. Then we don't need foreign key. Then we need constraint. We can say employee unique constraint we can keep for employee name and employee email. That's it. And what we can say, we'll go to the confirm and we'll say create. So here you can see that employee 1 table has been created. So what we can do, we can just go to home on the SQL, you can say DESC EMP employee 1. You should describe the employee. See, that's what we have created just now. Employee, I'm deleting this table now. Table dropped. So now that section we have done. Now what we can do, create we'll say here select star from employee. We have 3 records into this table, so at least one part we have done. Now let's go into the code. So it's first thing which we need to do for this is a basic Java basic Jdbc application where we have a Maven. We are using Maven for dependency management. So we have a pom.xml. So we have a group ID, artifact ID version, we have a packaging, we have a name, we have a URL, we have our organization tag, we have license tag, we have developer tag here. Then we have a repositories configured, we have a properties like project name, source code encoding, JDK version, it should be 7. It will ask me for reloading and something. After that, the dependency, leave about this. Here we can see JUnit dependency. We have logger dependency here. JUnit for testing, and then we have a logback and SLF4j, and then we have a standard build tag where we have a jar file name, and then we have a plugin. Inside plugin we have a standard Maven compiler plugin which is 3.5. So I left this section because if you search ojdbc.jar, you will not get the ojdbc jar directly in the Maven repository. So what you need to do, you need to install Maven jar file manually. So what I have done inside this application itself, in the doc folder, I have kept ojdbc jar and the command how to do that. So first thing, we need to execute this command, and then we need to add the dependencies tag. So what we need to do, we need to go into the folder which is cd doc. So we are already in that folder. So after that, what we need to do, we need to just copy this command and we need to execute this command here. So what it does, basically this jar file, it gonna install in Maven local repository. So once you keep this jar file, okay, I guess something is missing. I need to check. Just give me a second. Okay, what mistake I have done, I need to go to the doc folder. So once I reach to the doc folder here inside the doc, so what I need to do, I'll just keep this in this way. Drive slash doc. Inside, once we reach to the doc folder, then we need to execute this command here. So I'm already having that command. So so what I am gonna do, I'm gonna show you something like I have installed Maven, and my all jar file gonna stored in com oracle or Jdbc jar. So I'm gonna delete this oracle. Okay, I have deleted that jar file from my local repo because my all jar files are stored in this Maven jar. So once I execute this code, what it will do, this jar file will be copied to my local repository, and so that I can use that jar file into my form.xml. What did say? Oh, Jdbc 6.jar does not exist. Inside the jar folder, let's see. So I can see that old Jdbc jar file is there. I'll say so now it has installed. So same command, actually that cls was added at the end. So once I go into com folder, I can see the oracle, and inside oracle I'll see Jdbc jar file, and this is a jar file just now which we have created. You can see the time for this folder 105/11/2016. just now this has been moved. This jar file was created long back. So now happily what I can do, I can just copy this tags and add into my Maven file here. So that's how we can use oracle dependency tag here in this. So all this is there in the help.txt. You can just copy that thing. Jar file is already there, so every steps are there already. So now what we need to do, we will start from the resources tag where we have a logback.xml, where we have console appender, rolling file appender, and log level configure. So console appender is for printing the messages on the console, and rolling file appender is to redirect to the messages to the log file. And here we have another configuration which does the zipping, which takes the backup of the log files up to 50 times. Then we have application.xml. So in the application.xml, this is our driver class name, this is our URL, port number, host number, port number, database name, and this is a username password for which I have created the username password now. And we have a Jdbc queries here. So we have a select all queries, select employee based on the employee number, update employee, insert employee, and delete employee queries we have. So just to read that, first we need a property reader class. So we have a component property reader which internally use java.util.properties. So in that static method or static block of property reader class, I am just saying that get me the property file. So my property file resides in this location, sorry, this XML file reside in this location. So I'm reading that and I'm verifying that whether we can read that or not. So once we I'm assured that okay we can read that, I'm returning that, otherwise I'm just throwing runtime exception. Then I'm passing file same file object to get the input stream to read that. And once we get that input stream, I'm just using property.load from XML method and passing the file input stream. So all the properties which we have here, sorry, which we have in the application.xml will be kept read and stored in properties object in the key value form. And to get that values, we have a method here, get property method, where we'll pass the key and we'll get the corresponding value of that. So this is what we have done to read the configuration file. Then we need to create a connection from database to Java application. So we have a connection factory where we have read all the properties into variable like driver class, URL, host name, port name, DB name, username and password. And in the static block of that, I am just loading the driver class and I am constructing the URL to connect to database. And then we have a method get connection method. So in the get connection, I am using driver manager.get connection, passing the database URL, username and password, and I am getting the connection instance. And in the connection instance, I am checking whether it's equal to null or is closed. If that is the case, I am just throwing runtime exception saying that connection is null or closed. Otherwise, I am returning the connection instance. And there is another method which gonna close the connection, which internally called close connection method. So these are the two essential component which we need to connect to the database. Then after that we have what table we have created, that is a employee table. To store the corresponding employee data, we need a entity bean class. So we have a employee bean class which has a exactly similar properties like employee number, employee name, employee email, and it has a default constructor, parameterized constructor, setter getter method and toString method, so that we can use this bean class to hold the data while inserting, while updating, while fetching and all, for all the operations. So now we are almost done. So now we need a component which does the CRUD operation for us on the Oracle database. So we have a employee repository where we have a method get all the employee. So we'll get the list of the employees. Then we have a method get employee based on the employee ID. It will return employee instance. Then delete employee based on the employee ID. We'll get the boolean. Update employee, we are passing a employee instance and we are returning the updated employee instance. Then save employee, we are passing employee instance and returning the boolean operation status basically. So we have a implementation of all the methods here. That's a diamond feature, but ID sometimes will not pick up. So what we can do, we can just go to module settings, use the project, and I'll go to this location and I'll say use JDK 8. It will reload for me and it will not give these sort of errors. So in the first method, what we are doing basically, get all the employees. First thing, we'll read the SQL query from the configuration by using property reader and stored in SQL query object. Then we are creating a connection by using connection factory.get connection. We'll get the connection. Then by using connection, we are creating a statement, and with the statement we are executing the query and passing the SQL statement. So we'll get the result set here. So we are checking whether result set is not equal to null. If it is not equal to null, we'll create a list of employees. so that all the data which we have fetched we'll just convert into the employee bean, and then employee bean can be stored in the list, and that list can be returned. That's what we have done here. We are saying result set dot next, and what we are doing, we are just fetching one by one here based on the position. We know that first we'll get employee ID, then we'll get employee name and employee email, and we are getting and we are passing into the employee constructor. And if once object is created, we are directly adding to the employee list. So this process will keep on going unless it will return true, because if there is another record, till the time record is exist in the result set, it keep on iterating. Once that is done, will employee list is having employee objects which we fetch from the database, so we'll return that. Then we have a get employee method. So we are passing employee ID into that as a parameter. So first thing which we are doing, we are just getting the employee SQL statement to fetch the employee based on the employee ID, and then storing into SQL query variable. Then we'll create a connection by using connection factory.get connection method. Then what we are doing, we are just creating a statement, and we are executing the query and passing the SQL statement, and we'll get the result set. So we are checking whether result set is not equal to null and it has some value. Then what we are doing, we are just getting the data from the result set, passing into the employee constructor, and we are returning the employee instance here. Then we have a delete employee method where we are accepting employee ID. So what we are doing, basically we need to delete the employee based on the employee ID. So we are fetching the SQL statement and fetching the delete SQL statement, and we are storing an SQL query variable. And then what we are doing, we are replacing that, because there's if we go into the query, SQL query here, so we can see that employee number need to be replaced internally. So what we are doing, by using string method, we are replace first method, we are replacing this value with the supplied argument. Then we are getting a connection factory from by using connection factory, we are getting the connection. With the connection, we are just creating a statement, and with the statement we are just saying execute update, and we are passing the delete query. And based on the result, if there is a one record is updated, this result will be greater than 0. So that's what, based on that, we are returning true and false. We have a then what we have a update employee method where we are getting the employee instance here. So first thing what we are doing, we are getting a update statement, SQL statement from the configuration. Then we are replacing employee name, employee email, and employee number from that, because it has all the values need to be set here. So that's what we are replacing there by using those methods. And then we are creating a connection, and with the help of that connection, what we are doing with the help of that connection, we are just creating a statement, and with the statement we are executing update statement. I guess this can be improved little bit. Instead of that, it should be otherwise will return null. So if it is updated, then we are returning the updated, otherwise we are returning null. It means employee has not been updated there. Then we have a save method. In the save method, we are accepting the employee instance, and the first thing what we are doing, we are getting the insert statement, and with the insert statement, we are just setting all the values, because it has those custom placeholder here. And then we are saying connection factory.get connection, we will get the connection, and we will create a statement. From those statement, we are just setting the query, and we are saying execute update, and we will get the statement here. So it should be So here also I haven't. So we'll get the insert statement, we'll pass, we'll execute that, and whatever the result we are getting, we are verifying if record is inserted, result will be 1 greater than 0, so it will return true, otherwise it will return false. So to test this functionality, I am having a test case, JUnit test case, where I have just created an instance of employee repository, and in the test case I am just testing that. So first test case, what we have, select all the employee. So we have a list of, we have 3 records in our database. So okay, let me fix this also. So what you need to do in IntelliJ, usually you go to the compiler, change to 1.8, and this section if you change it to 1.8, it will solve the problem, because earlier it was 1.7, and while it will pick up the version from here, right, with self intelligence and all, and that's why it is creating all that mess. But that's a simple thing. So what we can do, we can just execute first test case where we are selecting all the rows from database. So here you can see that it came here, and what I am doing, first thing, we are reading the SQL statement. So we'll get the select employee number, employee name, employee email from employee. Then we are just creating a statement. Then after creating after creating a connection, we are creating a statement by using connection, and we are setting the SQL query to the statement, and then we are executing. So we'll get the result set. We are checking result set should not be null, so it's not null, it will come inside, and then we'll check, we'll just execute that. So we'll check whether result set is having some value. It has some value, so we'll get that. So here you can see that result set dot 1, 2 and 3, we are getting the values, we are just adding it. So we'll get the three rows. So we'll, from these 3 rows, one by one we'll get the column, we'll build up the employee, and we are setting into the list. So we'll get the employee list here with the 3 data, Adarsh Kumar, Radha Singh and Amit Kumar. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna return it back to the test case. We'll get the list of employees here, and what we are doing, we'll get the 3 employee list here, and we are just printing that here. So in the test case, in the output, you can see that log messages, that we'll get the 3 records here. Then we are selecting the employee with the employee ID 1. So we have passed the employee ID here, and first thing what we're gonna do, we're gonna get the statement, and we are replacing that statement with the parameter positional placeholder what I have created. Then after that, we'll create a connection, we'll create a statement, then we are executing the statement. We'll get the result set. From that result set, we are getting the data and creating an employee, and we are returning the employee. So we'll get the employee with the employee ID 1. So if I just check in the log message, I'll get the employee data information with the employee ID 1. So here we have a next test case where we are just saving the new employee to the database. So first thing what we have done, we get the SQL statement, and we are replacing the values, and then all values, you can see that for Sonu and email has been replaced. Then will create a connection. From connection, we'll create a statement, insert statement, and we'll execute update. We'll just execute that by passing the query, and we'll get the result. So we'll get the 1 because it's a successful, so we'll return true. And in the log message we can see the appropriate message, employee inserted true. So let's go into that and see whether the employee has been inserted. So we'll get the 4 records here. See that record number 3rd. So what we can do, we can say order by EMP. No, we'll get 1 2 3 4 in the order. So what we can do now, we have a next test case which is updating the employee. So we are passing the same employee with the name. Instead of Sonu, it will be Sonu Singh. So we'll get the query, we'll replace the values, we'll create a connection, we'll create a statement, we'll execute the statement returning the result. So if it is successful, we'll get the true. We'll get the updated employee. So we'll get the updated employee. Let's see, in the instead of Sonu, it should be Sonu Singh. So it's updated into DB also. Now we have a last test case where we need to delete the employee. Employee is having employee ID 4. So first thing, we'll get the statement replacing the placeholder value, setting the value into that query. Then we'll get the connection, we'll create a statement by using connection, and then we'll execute the query and returning the status. Because it's a successful, so we got the 1. Otherwise, if it's a failure, we're gonna get a 0 as a result of that. So we are just printing that employee deleted true. So that's it for this video. Please share your thoughts, comments, and do subscribe my channel. I'm gonna push this piece of code to my GitHub repository, which is github.com Adarsh Kumar Singh Java _JEE. So if you go into that, you can see there's a Jdbc. So inside Jdbc, if you go, you will get the MySQL, but once inside the Jdbc, once I'll push that, you can see Oracle, and inside Oracle you're gonna get that piece of code what we have done just now. So, and I'll come up with something related to that where we'll execute the prepare statement on the Oracle database. So till then, bye, take care.